I'm going to go through what posture will set you up to move in the direction that you want to go as fast as possible. We're going to talk about the toes, we're going to talk about the ankles, we're going to talk about the knees, the shin angle, we're going to talk about the hips and also the sternum. Athletic posture is what we need to make sure that we can move in the direction that we want. Now, first of all, do you have access to your toes? Do you actually have the ability? We do this with a lot of our athletes and they don't even have the ability to move their toes on their own. Can you actually keep all your toes down except your big toe? Can you keep your big toe down and move all the other ones? What we want to do with the toes is create a space. So we actually want to spread the pinky toe and create a space for us to fall into. The toes are never going to be strong enough to create the power for us to move, but they've got the ability to angle us slightly in the direction that we want so we can access the muscles that we want to use to move in the direction we want to go. Once we do that, we have the toes, we can then fall into that space. That already then starts to create a little bit of a shin angle that's going to help us go forward in whatever direction we want to do. It becomes less about the work you've got to put in and more about the fall. Once we get into this position, you can see now I've got access to actually use my glute to help me go in the direction that I want to go to. If I'm like this, there's no glute action that we can actually get a hold of. The next one is our sternum. So what you will notice is when people are getting in the right position, they then start to collapse their shoulders. They fall in this position here, which means then if you try and actually move any direction, then the arms will get in the way and it creates that sort of cross running like that. So once we set up the toes, we can fall into that space. Knees down, creating that shin angle. Push the glute down. So not necessarily back, because then the weight comes back. Push the glute down. Then we need to have the sternum forward. We're going to have the sternum in front of the body because that's the direction we're going to go. If we need to go that direction, we can all of a sudden then get this glute in and head in the other direction. So that's what I want you to practice first. Spreading the pinky toes, fall into that space. Your heel can come slightly off the ground. Try and get those knees as close to the ground without pushing your backside back. Then we're going to get our sternum forward. Now we're going to find that position where it's pretty hard to hold, but if we want to go any direction, we can get there nice and quickly. Big shout out to my mentors, Adarian Barr, who's working with loads of NFL athletes, baseball athletes, some of the best athletes in America. Also Ben Patrick, who's taught me a lot about getting that strong position with the knees over toes. And of course, Keegan Smith, one of my mentors, who also is helping me learn about how we can keep that sternum in a strong position and allow us to move nice and quick.